So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 non-clinical jobs that you can actually apply for in the hospitals in the United Arab Emirates and in other places in the world. So these jobs are actually not only available in places like the United Arab Emirates, but they are available in UK, in Canada, in the US. And if you visit any of these countries, you can actually apply for these positions. These are administrative positions that can easily fetch you some money while you are actually maybe pursuing a career in nursing or in something else in the hospital. Okay, so these are readily available jobs that are always in demand in so many hospitals in the country. Currently, if you want to apply for these positions, you can actually check out the websites of Mediclinic, of American Hospital, Dubai, of NMC, of Bujil. All these hospitals are hiring administrative staff, and I'm going to mention these positions to you and the salary range so that you can actually apply to these positions. The first job that we're going to talk about is a patient administrator. In some hospitals, they will call them medical receptionists, and in some other hospitals, they will call them patient administrators. And they might have different names in a different hospital. It depends on the hospital policy. And these are actually administrative staff, and they are always the first point of contact between the patient and the doctor. This person is going to be the one to greet you, complete the registration process, and even do the billing if you need to pay any amount of money. If you are in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or anywhere in the world, all hospitals have someone at the reception to receive the patients, right? So these jobs are readily available, and they usually require little or no experience, and it doesn't matter even if you have no clinical background. So these are jobs that you can apply to and you can readily get them. The salary range for a patient administrator in the United Arab Emirates for the good hospitals is actually between 5,000 to about 10,000 dirhams. All you need to do is to be computer savvy, and you need to actually know how to move the mouse to use the computer. And there are some softwares that they are going to teach you in any hospital that you go to, because different hospitals, they have different softwares that they use for their registration process and for their patient records. So they are going to teach you that particular type of software that you're going to use, and if you're someone that is fast, you easily learn and you can readily do this job. It is just like a customer service role, but it's actually a good job because you'll be able to interact every day with patients and different people, and you'll be a focal point in the hospital. The next job that I'm going to talk about is a ward clerk. A ward clerk in places like Canada can be referred to as a unit secretary. So these jobs are readily available also in most hospitals in the US, in Australia, in the UK, New Zealand, and in the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia. All these countries, they have this type of jobs in their hospitals. So a ward clerk or a unit secretary is simply someone that is assigned to a particular unit or ward in the hospital, and their job is to assist the nurses in the administrative work in the hospital. So their job is mostly as for communication, that they communicate between the patients and their relatives, and they communicate between the nurses, the patients, and the patient relatives. They communicate with them in the unit, and they also do supplies. So meaning that all the supplies that are being used in the unit, the ward clerks are the one to make sure that the unit is always stocked. So they also make sure that the patient records are up to date, and they also make sure that they complete the admissions and the discharge process in the ward. There are different stuff that they actually do depending on the hospital or depending on the ward requirements, but it is a nice job because you are able to work with the nurses, especially in the ICU, medical surgical ward, and maternity wards, and all these different wards in the hospital. You work with different nurses every single day. You will enjoy the job. I've been a ward clerk before, so it was a really nice job, and I was able to assist not only the nurses, but you could actually play a part in assisting the patients. So the salary for a ward clerk in the United Arab Emirates ranges between 3,000 in the low hospitals to about 7,000 in a good hospital. So in a good hospital, you would have some, different requirements or different things that you need to do, but they can pay you really, really good if you do your job and if you have some experience after working there for some time. So, but in the lower hospitals, they'll pay you about 3,000. In the top tier hospitals, they will start you with at least 4,000 or 4,500 dirhams for a start. So it is a good job also for someone that wants to go into the medical field, but you don't understand how the hospital works, how everything functions. You can actually apply for a role as a ward clerk, And once you get in, you can actually start going inside the hospital, or you will learn more about the hospital. You might create some contacts that is going to help you when you complete your studies. You can actually find an easy route so as to get your dream job, either as a nurse or as anything that you want to be in the hospital. So it's a nice job, and I recommend a world-class position for someone like a CNA or a nurse, that maybe you are there, you are still struggling to get a job, especially in the UAE without an experience. You can actually go for it, and it might help you to pay some bills while you are actually looking for your dream job. The next job that we're going to talk about is a surgery scheduler or an operation theater booking coordinator. So a booking coordinator or a surgery scheduler is actually someone that works in the operation theater. So it is an administrative job because their function is actually to make sure that all the surgeries, all the operations that are done in the OT are actually well planned and well arranged. So you cannot just leave the OT like that every doctor that comes in, every operation that comes in, you just go in and do it in the operation theater. No, there's supposed to be a plan, a well structured plan, and an operation theater bookings coordinator is someone that is involved in it, and it's a critical role because it actually puts everything into place. You are communicating not only with the doctors or the surgeons, you are communicating with the anesthesia team, you are communicating with the nurses, you are communicating with the suppliers for instruments, you are communicating with the patients and their relatives. So it is a really nice job, interesting job, and you need to be someone very calm. It requires also little or no experience. You just need to be well organized and good in communication, and you can actually land this job. All the good hospitals in the country, in the United Arab Emirates, and even in Canada, US, this job is readily available in most hospitals. So in Canada, they sometimes call them surgery schedulers. In the UAE, they call them operation theater booking coordinators, and they might have different names in different hospitals. So every single day, you need to actually make sure that you have arranged the OT list for the next day, you prepare everything, and also you have to inform the patient. So you'll be communicating with the patient regarding the exact time for their operation, the time for the pre-op assessment, if their insurance has been approved or it is still pending, and all those things. The salary for this job is usually, in the good hospitals, you get at least 6,000 dirhams for a start to about 12,000 to 15,000 in some good hospitals in the country. The next type of job that I'm going to talk about is medical secretaries. You'll find a medical secretary, you'll find a nursing secretary, and a hospital secretary. So those are three secretaries for three different people. So a hospital secretary is usually tied with the hospital director, a medical secretary with the medical director, and a nursing secretary to the nursing director in the hospital. So they all have their own assistants, people that assist them. All those three are big positions in the hospital. So they require different, because the nursing secretary deals with the whole nursing team, the unit managers, the nurses, and everything. And the hospital secretary deals with the corporate office and all that. And you have the medical secretary that deals with the doctors. And if you're someone that is interested to work as a secretary in a hospital, you can actually target these roles. As a secretary, or as someone that is also interested in secretarial work in a hospital, you can actually target other jobs like patient administrators, also medical receptionists, ward clerks, because all these jobs require you to be at the front office. So they're almost identical, and you can actually apply to these positions because they require little or no experience, and they don't require any medical background. The minimum salary that you get in any of these positions, in any of these positions that I've just mentioned, is 6,000 dirhams in a good hospital. You might get less, but in that one is in the smaller hospitals. But in a good hospital, you are sure to get at least 6,000 dirhams for a medical secretary position, for a hospital secretary position, and for a nursing secretary position. So it can go above to a point where you're getting even 15,000 for a secretarial position in a good hospital. So these jobs are readily available in most hospitals, and you can look out for these jobs. Sometimes they even pay more than nurses in some hospitals for a hospital secretary. So you have to be aware of that and reach out to these positions once you see them. Another important job that you can actually get in the hospital as an administrative role or a support role is actually a general assistant. So a general assistant in some hospitals, they might actually be referred to as ward attenders or porters or transporters. So they have different names, and their job responsibilities almost identical, but they have different names depending on the hospital. So one hospital might be calling them general assistants, another hospital might be assign them to a ward and call them ward attendants, because their job in that particular place is actually to assist the nurses either in the turning and positioning of the patients or to transport the patients like that. So there might be transporters, there might be porters, there might be general assistants just doing everything. So for example, in the operation theater, you might have a general assistant, and this general assistant, the role of this person is actually to get the patient maybe from the wards and bring them into the operation theater, and when the operation is done, the patient will be the person will take the patient back to their ward, but always assisted with a nurse. It usually requires little or no experience at all in the hospital, and it requires no license because you are not directly involved in patient care. Your job is actually just to assist, to support with the supervision of a nurse beside you. So that is also another job that's available in the hospitals, and you can actually apply to these jobs in the United Arab Emirates. And they can actually, again, you can actually see this type of job as a general assistant, you can see it as a ward attendant, you can see like a porter or a transporter. So these are the titles that you might see in the job sites when you are applying. So you can actually apply with the job responsibility before you apply. So I'm going to make a part 2 of this video talking about 5 other jobs that you can actually apply for in a hospital that are non-clinical. And I'm going to make another video again talking about non-clinical jobs that require a license or a high level of certification in the United Arab Emirates, like medical coders, CSSD technicians. All these jobs, I'll talk about them so that you can have a full understanding about certain jobs that are available in the hospital and you can apply to these positions. Another important job that you can actually find in the hospital, this is actually in the supply chain area. You can actually find a job as a stores assistant. So a stores assistant is someone that is working with the consumables team in the consumables in the medical supplies or in the medical store. Your job is to make sure that all the supplies are readily available in the stores, and you assist in transporting these consumables or these items to the units and distribute them to all the units in the hospital. So a stores assistant in the hospital is also a very crucial job because it actually helps to facilitate patient care, and you actually play a good role in making sure that everything runs smoothly in the hospital. So these people usually work with not only themselves, they work with store coordinators, they work with stock controllers and consumable managers. So they work with them in the same place. All these jobs that I've mentioned are currently available in so many hospitals in the United Arab Emirates. If you have looked at any of my last videos, you realize that I've posted some of these jobs already in different hospitals. If you need any assistance regarding your CV to apply for any of these positions, or you need any assistance regarding your LinkedIn profile, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe, I don't say follow. You can follow me and you can also subscribe so that to support me. All these jobs that I've mentioned are readily available in so many hospitals in the United Arab Emirates. If you have looked at any of my previous videos on my Reels section, you are going to realize that I posted some of these jobs already in many hospitals like NMC, like American Hospital in Dubai. They are already hiring for many of these positions. So if you want me to create a good CV for you to apply to any of these positions, or you want me to update or to help you to give you some advice regarding your LinkedIn profile, you can actually subscribe to my Facebook. So if you go to Facebook, there's a subscription there. You can subscribe, and that is a way to support me also. And once you subscribe to my Facebook, be rest assured that everything that you need, every support that you need regarding finding a job in the United Arab Emirates or anywhere in the world, I'm going to give you that support fully.